What's up, everybody? Got this new task ahead of me. It's the homie right here. Actually, it's my cuñado. Yeah, and we about to work on his car. We gonna put some cross drill rotors on that mamma jamma.
Down here. Remember me, right?
Yeah, they remember you. So I'm gonna show you how to put some cross drill rotors on G35. So that's the next project coming right at you right about now. Alright, this is the car I was talking about, the G35. We go put cross drill rotors on this bad boy. So first thing you want to do, of course, is get these wheels off. Now what I usually do, I usually break the lug nuts before I raise the car in the air. It's a lot easier to take the lug nuts off while the car is on the ground. So let's get these lug nuts off, well, loosen, raise the car, and then we go pull the wheel off. Alright, so we got the wheel off, and to get this back rotor off, now I have to take off the caliper and the caliper bracket. The caliper is hold on with this 12mm bolt right here. So we can remove that 12mm bolt and we'll take it from there. Alright, so we got one of the 12mm bolts off. I just want to show you something. On this particular car, that bottom bolt for the caliper is hitting one of the control arms and you can't pull it all the way out. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I lowered the car and it seemed like wherever the suspension travel, this control arm travels with it. So I couldn't figure out how to get it out of the way, so I just kind of bypassed it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the whole caliper bracket. That's these two big bolts. Let me point them out if I can. Where's my finger? There's my finger. Alright, this is one right here, and that's one way down there right there. They look like they're in the 20s, maybe like a 21, 22. So I'm gonna find out what size that bolt is, and I'll let you guys know once I get it off. Alright, so we got one of the 12mm bolts off. I just want to show you something. On this particular car, that bottom bolt for the caliper is hitting one of the control arms and you can't pull it all the way out. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I lowered the car and it seemed like wherever the suspension travel, this control arm travels with it. So I couldn't figure out how to get it out of the way, so I just kind of bypassed it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the whole caliper bracket. That's these two big bolts. Let me point them out if I can. Where's my finger? There's my finger. Alright, this is one right here, and that's one way down there right there. They look like they're in the 20s, maybe like a 21, 22. So I'm gonna find out what size that bolt is, and I'll let you guys know once I get it off. Alright, so
what's up, guys? We
got the caliper bracket off, and come to find out that big bolt that I was telling you, it wasn't nothing in the 20s. It was a 19mm. So it was smaller than I thought it was. So the calipers was 14mm, and the caliper bracket was 19mm. So now only thing left is the rotor. Now see, this look like this has to come out before I can get the caliper off. I'm not sure, but I'll find out and I'll let you guys know once I get it off. Alright, so there was no need to remove this. Kind of find out it's rubber. It's just a dust cover.
Really?
And so once I took it off, it's just a straight through hole. In the back of this rotor, there's brake shoes, and that's where your parking brake is. Once I take it off, you'll see. But this is just a straight through hole to the brake pads. I think if you wanted to adjust the brake shoes to you know, to set them, to adjust them, so you don't have to take off the whole rotor to adjust it. You can just pull this plug out and adjust it from the outside. But also, if your rotor is stuck, all you have to do, I sprayed it with a little soapy water in the middle right here going around this hub. You might not have to do that, but that's what I was taught to do when I worked at a mechanic shop. And then, you know, we all don't always have perfect aim, so you want to get the lug nuts, screw them back on the studs just in case, because you got to tap it with a hammer. And if you miss and hit one of these studs right here, mess up the threads, you can't get the lug nut back on. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and put the lug nuts on the studs, just in case you swing and miss and hit it, you don't damage the threads, you just hit the lug nut. So, and then you just want to tap in a circle. It's more of a hit, you know, you got to use a little muscle. It's not really a tap, but you want to put some power into it. That's why I cover the studs with the lug nuts, just in case I miss. And just keep hitting it until it get loose. And once it get loose, you will see it wiggle. And after that, you can pull it off. You can pull it off right now. So just pull and shake, and then it come off. And these are the shoes I was telling you behind it.
The shoe brake.
These have nothing to do with your regular braking. This is just for when you step on the parking brake, or some people call it emergency brake or whatever. That rubber grommet went straight to this. That's not even the adjuster, so I don't know what's the point of that, but it was on there. The adjuster is actually here. When you spin this, it'll push the shoes out to adjust where you want the parking brake to set when you step on the pedal. Like if your pedal gets soft and you feel it's not grabbing no more, you can adjust this. It'll push out the brake shoes and it'll push it closer to the actual rotor, so when you step on the parking brake, it'll grab instead of going to the floor. So we got the rotor off, and now we go put on the new ones and reverse it, put everything back together. Alright, this is the new rotor we putting on. It's slotted and drilled. We took off the rubber piece from the old rotor, pushed it back in here. We adjusted the parking brake. You know, might as well do it while we're in here. And now it's just the reversal. The reversal is to put on the actual brake caliper, the one that took the 19mm bolts. And then you put on the actual caliper. We're using new brake pads, so we're gonna have to push this caliper in to accommodate for the new brake pad. So next we go put on the actual not the caliper, but the bracket, the caliper bracket. We go put this on, and we get back to you after that. All right, we got the caliper bracket back on. One thing I want to point out is his bolts was actually dry. They usually have grease on them because the bolt, let me show you, let me get up off my ears. They go in here. And while the caliper is on, this actually slides in and out. So it needs to be greased. And like I say, his was pretty dry. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some grease on it. The grease I'm gonna use for now is actually the spark plug boot protector. It's the same thing, it's grease. You know, this will work just fine. Just put it all around the boat and put it in there. It'll keep it lubricated and to keep it sliding inside and out. You don't want it to seize up, because then your caliper could seize up and your brakes start binding and you wear them out quicker than they should. So this stuff is pretty much the same as like lithium grease and all that kind of stuff. You know, brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner, same thing. You can use them both to clean parts and all that kind of stuff. You can start a car with carburetor cleaner, and you can start a car with brake cleaner. You can clean a carburetor with brake cleaner. You can clean a carburetor with carburetor cleaner. It's the same thing. So I'm gonna show y'all how to get the caliper back on there after I grease them. And once again, we gonna have to push that caliper piston in before we can even put on the new brakes. So I'll show y'all how to do that in a second. Alright, in order to push that caliper in, you can get one of these where, you know, you twist it and it'll push it in. Or you can get the ones that's like a little trigger gun. You can squeeze it, and every time you squeeze, it'll push it out more in. These are cheaper and they work just as good. So I bought one of these bad boys right here. So you want to use the old brake pad. Just put it in there. Just lean it up against the. I usually put the pad part towards the piston, and the metal part, the flat part, towards the back. So spin this all the way up, set it in there, then you just twist. As you twist, this metal shield is gonna push up against the caliper, and then this round part is gonna push the actual piston in. So you just twist until it get tight, and as you can see, it's pushing that piston in right now. And keep in mind, as this piston go in, it pushes fluid back through the lines all the way until the brake fluid reservoir. Sometimes you'll see your car start leaking from the front. You'll see fluid leaking down. Don't panic. That's normal, because like I say, the fluid, when you push this piston in, it's also pushing fluid back into the reservoir, and depending on how high. Sorry about that, my phone cut off. Stupid thing said it overheated and just shut down on me, so I'm back. But like I say, just twist until the piston go in. You might lose a little fluid out of the reservoir, but that's normal. Don't worry about it. Just wherever it came out and whatever it touched, wet it with water. Pour a bottle of water on it, or if you can shoot it with the water hose, because brake fluid does eat through paint and rubber hoses. So just run some water on it if you leak fluid out of the reservoir. So that's it. Take this off, take off the old brake, and now you can see that the piston is all the way in. And now we put the brakes on, put the caliper back on, and that'll be it. Put the wheel back on and you're done. So I'm gonna do that and get back to, and everything's finished. This is the rear. Got the rotor on, got the caliper bracket on, got the caliper on. Everything's bolted up. All we have to do now is put the wheel on, and we're gonna move to the front over here. I'll show you how to do the front. And then the driver's side is the same as the passenger side, so I'm just gonna record the rear passenger and the front passenger just to show you how it's done. But we're gonna move on to the front right now. So we moved on to the front. The front, it's the same but slightly different. For the caliper, this middle piece, the caliper is still a 14. So where we at? I can't see. This bolt right here, and then there's another one. This thing is so big, can't even see it, but yeah, there we go. Right here, there's another one. They both are 14s, unloosen those, which I already did. Just pull it off. But I just want to show you something. My G35 was only a single piston in the front. As you can see, the 37 is dual piston. So I gotta see how I'm gonna push them back. Shouldn't be too complicated, but once I get to it, I'll show you guys how I get it done. And for the bracket, instead of a 19, this bolt right here, I use a 7/8 wrench, which is a little bit too big, but it fit tight enough to get it off. That screw is already loose. There's one there, and then there's another one right here. They're both, I use a 7/8 wrench. His was on pretty tight. What I ended up doing was I put a 7/8 wrench, excuse the camera for the moment. I put a 7/8 wrench on it, and then I just used the hammer. Pop, 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 pop. That's the noise I was making when I was hitting it. It was like pop, pop, pop. And I just hammered it down until it got loose. Because you can use maybe a ratchet, put a extension on the end if you can, but usually it'll hit up against the body of the car. You can't really use the extension. So I just put the back side of a wrench on it. Then I just use the hammer and bop, 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 bop until it got loose and, you know, took it off. So these bolts is loose already, and that's it. So you got 7/8 for the actual caliper bracket and 14s for the actual caliper, and all of that will come off. So the way I'm gonna push this caliper wrap back, even though it's a dual piston and this is a single piston tool, what I'm gonna do one corner at a time. So I'm gonna use my palm to keep pressure on this one. Just kind of fingers in the back, palm right here. Twist this side, you will see that this side will go in. And if you don't keep pressure on this side, usually it'll go in uneven. It'll start to go in at an angle. So that's why I kind of keep pressure on it to kind of get it to go in both at the same time. And if you got good calipers that's not giving a lot of resistance, doing like this would be just fine. So just kind of keep a little pressure on the left side while you're twisting the right. And the reason I keep moving my hand, it got a little metal ledge right here, and when I squeeze, it's biting into my palm and it hurts. So just trying to get around that. So I'm twisting, we're going in. So far it looks like it's working. And I usually go slow to try to keep the reservoir from overflowing. And yeah, right now we're looking good. So right now I'm just doing the right hand side with the tool and pushing the left side with my hand. And usually I take it off this side, put it on this side, do a little bit if it's going uneven, but I think this one is pretty good. It went evenly. So just in case, just to make sure this side is all the way back, I'm gonna switch it up. And yeah, it's all the way back because they don't even want to twist. So we got lucky this time, folks. I only have to do one side and keep pressure, and as you can see, they both are all the way in. So the piston is already pushed back. We ain't got to worry about that no more. All we got to do is, as you can see, the rotor is on there tight. While he's holding the camera, I'm gonna go ahead and knock that off. And what I usually do, spray a little bit just to get a little soapy water. Grab the lug nut, thread them on a little bit. You don't gotta put them on tight, just to protect the first couple threads, because those are like I got butterfingers. Those are the starter threads. You don't want to mess up the starter threads when you can't get the lug nut back on. So just put it on, just thread it on a couple. Then you get the hammer and start wailing.
Give the Thor power.
Yeah, the hammer of Thor right here. Go around. This one really on there. Thought it would have gave by now. Alrighty then.
She's not ready to come out.
No, she's not ready.
There we go.
You'll know when it's ready because it'll flex.
Yeah, a little push.
It flex, so you good. Take off the lug. And that's why you put the lug nuts on, because you can see it was on there pretty tight. I actually have to hit it pretty hard, and you hit the edge of this with the hammer, with the hardness that I was using, it'll tear up the threads. And then when you go to try to put the lug nut back on, it don't want to go. Then you gotta buy a whole new stud. So we got that off, and that's how you take off the rotor. So you slip the new one back on, and everything is the reversal. I'm gonna show you the reversal, although a lot of people don't do the reverse because, you know, you pretty much already went through that step. But I'm gonna show it to you one more time, and then once I do the driver's side, you on your own. Got the caliper bracket on. That's the reverse step. Got the two big old 7/8. I don't know the exact size. The 7/8 went on. Like I said, it was a little loose, but it worked. Got those on. Oh, my camera's a little blurry. Got the 7/8 on. So now, hold this, player. All you gotta do is take the brake pads, put them in the grooves. It's a little indentation. Just slip them, man. It's real easy. Just make sure the round part goes with the roundness of the rotor. As you can see, Both of these have, this is the sensor that make the brakes squeak when they get low. So since they both have them. What the other old one? Yeah, right, they both have it. So it's fine. Usually only one will have it, and then you gotta figure out if you're going the front or the back. But since both have it, it doesn't matter what their name is. Put it in that little groove, wherever it's at. I cannot see it. Oh, there we go. So you put it in the groove, just slide it on. Get the other one, make sure the round part goes to the roundness. Put it in the groove. The groove I'm talking about, you can see it better on this side. It's a groove right here, and it's a groove up there. I usually sit the bottom end first. Sit the bottom end, and then line the top up, push it on. And that's it, folks. You take the caliper, make sure the pistons are already slipped in, and all it do is go over
and slide in.
Slide in.
Like what us men know how to do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Slide up in there.
Take the screws while it's on, you hold it, line up the screw. You can start one just to hold it, get the other one. I can't see, so I'm gonna have to block the camera for a second. Line it up. There we go. That's it. And that's it, folks. All you gotta do is tighten these two bolts up, and you're all done.
And that's game.
And that's it. You don't have to worry about this wiggling. You might say, well, this is loose, so it's wiggling. Don't worry about it. When you put the rim on and put the lug nuts, there's the lug nuts will center everything and hold it tight. So just use your 14mm to tighten these two screws right here, and game over. I'm gonna move on to the driver's side, run through it real quick, because at the moment it's hot in California and we got a gang of fires burning, man. We got ash. You probably can't see it through the camera, but
we got ashes all over us.
Ash all over the place, man. And we trying to get out this hot butt weather and this fire, ash, wind blowing. Man, it's the stuff we do for YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? We do this not for us. We don't need these. We just bought them for y'all. You know, this car was stopping fine before we even put these on. This is for you.
That's right.
That's right. All right, as you can see, we finished this passenger side. This is the front. Looks real clean with the rotor drilled and slotted. That's the front right there. Move on to the back. I'm breathing hard because I just broke loose the lug nuts on the driver's side. Got me all winded. Like I say, it's hot out here. Smell like burnt brush from the fires, the ash. But anyway, this is the rear. And with these wheels, you can see the rotor is real nice. So we finished with this side. The driver's side is the exact same process. So we're not gonna record that. But like, subscribe, and I'll be back with my next project. Try to keep in touch with the YouTubers. You learn as we learn, and we'll learn together. Got anything you want to say to the nice YouTubers? Once again,
thank you for watching.
This is Little Caesar's Infiniti G35. Just doing a rotor swap on it. So once again, it's a 35?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a 37. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been saying 37 for the past 15 minutes. This is a 35. What year?
2007.
Oh, 2007. I got a 2003, I believe. Alright, so correct me. Those who was watching probably already knew, like, man, there ain't no 37. Y'all gonna leave me messages in the comments. This ain't no 37. Hi, me, learn your cars, bro. Learn your cars. My bad. It's a 35. It's the 07 35. But anyway, we done. Like and subscribe. Hopefully, y'all tune in on my next project. Y'all have a good one.